In yesterday's episode, we finished step 27 here. Oh, and when I put these little pieces on yesterday, I forgot to push record. I was busy videoing and thinking how good this was going to be, and I was talking about, these little pieces. Then after it was all over with, well, we can pretty much do the same thing on this side here. I already went ahead and put this one on because I had it nipped off. But we'll put on the other three. That is, if step 28 calls for it. Yeah, it looks pretty much like a mirror image of 27. If you remember, we had a problem with this one in yesterday's video as well. Oop. Now, I'm not going to leave these installed here, but I just want to see how they're going to fit. Now, it could be that I've got too much paint on both the pegs and the holes, and it doesn't want to go here. One on the bottom. Oh, there we go. It seems to be sort of going in. The top one doesn't want to go. You can see there's a little, it does have a little peg there that has to go into this hole here. I'll worry about it later. I don't want it on right now anyway. Okay, F19 and F24. And that's these little guys right here. Okay, this little one, F24, it doesn't seem to matter which way faces out. Oh my, once again too much. Gotta get it in that hole though. Maybe the other tweezers. There we go. And once again, once that evaporates, It'll be welded in place. Now this one here, don't know if you can see it, see if I can get it just right here. You notice there's 3 little holes on the front there. Those aren't on the back. Okay, let's see if this one will go better. Yes. It's a little bit crooked. I realize that I'm getting way ahead here, but doesn't it make sense to you that there be a railing around that? Nowhere in the manual does it talk about railings. I think it probably just leaves it up to your own discretion. I think I mentioned something about that before. You will often notice that whenever I'm talking about something really small, I'm always sort of touching it or poking at it with something also that's very small that you will recognize, like in this case, this little tiny paintbrush. Well, you know that it's small. You can actually see the bristles on it. And yeah, or sometimes I'll use my ballpoint pen and I'll do it in such a way that you can actually see the ball of the ballpoint pen, just to sort of, give perspective. Now this side of the superstructure, it actually has 2 life rafts, and one of them goes right here. Ah! Why will it not go in there? I was looking at it from a really bad angle. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I think with the other one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in place like this and then put the glue on. Now the second one goes right at the very back here. I don't believe this. Finally. Now, I don't want to overdo it with the glue. We can see that that's enough. Yeah, that's plenty. Okay, you can tell it's still laying on its side. It's kind of sloped down a little bit to your right. Get that more or less centered in this little cradle there. No, it should wick underneath there. I'm going to have to do a little repainting, I guess. Now I'll just move it around just tiny little bit here. Oh yeah, that's not going to come out of there. Now we'll do the back one. Looks like it could be moved over a little bit. I wonder if it's... Maybe that was just a little bit. Now this is the little gun we installed yesterday, and you'll notice that it's just not shoved down as far as it should be. Now I could probably try and fix that, but in all likelihood I'd end up breaking off the little peg or making a mess on the deck. And because you only see it when you look through a magnifying glass, I think I'm just going to leave well enough alone. Well, this part of 28 is done. And this part over here, well, that's probably going to take care of most of these little pieces. But I'm noticing that we're going to have the odd one left over, like, well, we'll look at them at the end there. L16s. Let's do something easy. There's 3 of them. Now, they've got little pegs on the bottom. And one goes in here. One goes over here. And one goes down here. And it doesn't seem to matter which way they go because they look the same from both sides. It's not like one side of the box has a little latch or something. That didn't go too well. Now, could be worse, I guess. Now, I know you can't tell, but I've repositioned my camera here, and things are a little less awkward for me. No, I'm not going to put so terribly much glue on this one. I thought I was going to be fiddling with this one forever, but I finally got it. There. Oops. Okay. Now don't touch it. Okay, these are our L50s, and we need 4 of them. We've got 4. You'll notice that they're profiled on one side. I'll try and turn this over, and you will see they are not profiled on the other side. So when I put them on, I have to have them facing out with the profiling. Okay, we're going to be putting square pegs in square holes. Maybe. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue in from the back side. Oh, one of the little rubber tips fell off my tweezer. fix it later. I think that's straight. Okay, those look straight from my perspective. I was looking at this thing just a few minutes ago and I was wondering what goes on there. Well, I found out. But you'll notice if you take a look at that thing that's coming up out of the deck, it looks like it's designed in such a way that there's a little flange on the bottom that is supposed to keep this thing from going all the way down. So I think what I'm going to want to do is when I put it on, just leave it a little bit proud of the deck there. And I know you can't see me doing it, but what I'm doing is I'm putting a little extra thin in the hole in the bottom of the part. So hopefully we're not going to be getting it all over the place. And that is the way it's supposed to go. Well, that one went better. A little bit crooked. Not bad. Now these J53s go right here. And they are also profiled on one side. I think they're going to go in a little easier. Do I really need to put any on the other side? Now, do I even need to wiggle it around? I don't think so. Okay, now there's another one that goes on the other side. That's a tight fit. I'm just going to put the glue in from one side here. There. Yeah, that's okay. We have two pieces left over. This one here, which is the same as this one, and this one here. And I can't find any holes where they're supposed to go. Unless we'll be using them in a later step, I don't know. Now I just removed this little block off of the bottom of this part. The idea was, of course, so that, I could hold it from the bottom while I was painting and, turn it around and drop it and whatever you wanted to do with it. And but I noticed that when I removed the, well, that's a perfect example. Okay, sometimes the tape will stay stuck on the bottom here. Yeah, that's too bad. But I guess that's something I'm just going to have to live with. Now, obviously, this piece is this piece, and this piece is this piece. And get those fastened down. And as near as I can tell, once this is fastened down, this is the end of step 28. Now there's something that I have to really get used to, and that is that I just can't grab this thing like I used to be able to. Even just accidentally brushing my hand against something is gonna, snap something off. Okay, 28's done. Now, 29. And we need more photo etch. Okay, where's Andy's little machine here? Now we're going to get to try this out. Photo-etch B1. And it looks like we only need one of B1. Photo-etch B, number 1. I know that sometimes it seems to take an awful long time for me to get the blade just right before I press it through. I'm adjusting this way and I'm adjusting that way, and it seems like I don't know what I'm doing. Well, maybe I don't, but that's another story. Anyway, what's happening here is I've got the camera right directly overhead, so I'm not seeing it from the best angle. And not only that, I have this constant fear that if I cut it in the wrong place, well, I can't fix it. It's just too small. Now I'm going to try and not get my nose in your road here, because I am right down on top of this thing. Maybe if I stick the macro lens on, you'll be able to see a little better. You will notice that where the treads stop and where the stringer starts, it's not near as thick. Like, not only is it notched there, but the metal is not as thick. And that's where I bend towards. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the... this is very delicate here. Maybe if I crank this down just a little, put a tiny bit of tension on it. I want to bend this side first. Ooh, I bent the railing. Oh, too far. Okay, now that should bend good. So I'm going to just clamp it down. Now this is the very first time I've used this thing. So now the idea is, get myself comfy here. I slide the razor blade underneath. Go right all the way and then fold up. Okay, now I'm going to loosen it. Too bad I bent the railing there. I'm going to pull it out. Now when I do this one, hope you can still see it there. When I bend this one, I may not be able to go all the way, but I can sort of finish it afterwards once I get the bend started. Okay, it's clamped down. Take our razor blade. Now this is the second time I've used this thing. I'm just going to go up until the railing touches the top there. Okay, now I can bend it the rest of the way. Very carefully with tweezers. Let's get it out of there now. Speaking of tweezers, there, see that? I just have to bend this just a tiny little bit more to make it square. Now each one of these treads has to be bent at an angle, and it would be bent at the same angle as this part right here. Don't know if you can see that. Okay, let's see if we can't very, very gently bend this railing straight here. Yeah, it's somewhat better. It's not as perfect as it was, of course. Now, I have found in the past with bending stairs that these tweezers are just right. So what I do is I will bend this tread so that it is at right angles to this piece. Not the long railing, but the little piece that's coming up. And then I will grab the next one down and do it the same way. Just do that all the way up. Well, folks, this video is getting pretty long already. Gonna have to cut it off right now. So, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.